I can speak to everybody, right? Let's go with Pan first. Okay, why why can't I get to the go? Okay.
Pan? Are you here? Pan! All right then. Guess I'll just head off.
I thought you didn't want to see me anymore. You're not here to yell at me, are you?
What do I have to apologize for?
No, I just wanted to talk.
Oh. Now you've got my ears quivering, Grace. Whatever could we have to discuss?
I know you weren't behind Calliope's murder.
Oh, then you've learned something, haven't you? Something not exactly pleasant. I see. Isn't that always the way? Tell you what, Grace. Let's indulge in one last transaction. Relay what you've learned, and I'll see if I have any advice to offer.
Is that the nature of our relationship? Transactions? Yes, it is.
Okay, where do I begin?
Well, of course it was Athena.
Wait, you knew?
No, how could I?
So what now?
Let the prophecy play out.
Huh?
Let it play out. It doesn't say the Last Muse will die. Just that she must for the idols to continue. Perhaps the idols shouldn't continue. Seems reasonable enough.
Bold thing for an idol to say. I would guess that Athena would completely disagree with that. Just a hunch.
I doubt Athena would agree. Or many of the other idols, for that matter.
Yes, well, if history says anything about the idols, it's that we're a bunch of reactionaries who make poor decisions. Frankly, change is long overdue. Continuing on as we have been isn't appealing, and I doubt I'm the only one who thinks so. I'm rather looking forward to the trial now. How exciting.
That's your advice then? Let it play out. Just let the idols die. Apollo? Your beach house. He literally is a surfer. An angsty surfer.
Oh, it's you. Paul comes in, mopier than his usual mopey self, and won't say a word about why. But of course, it's you.
That bad, huh? I'm not surprised. He left my place pretty upset.
You know, I knew it when I saw you. That girl's gonna be trouble. But does he listen? No. Look, I'm not stupid. I don't buy into this god crap, but I know Paul and the rest of you are not on the right side of normal. Even so, Paul is a good guy. Leave him alone. He doesn't want to talk to you.
It's all right, Oracle. I think Grace and I need a moment alone, if you please.
Oh, sure. Don't mind me. It's not like I was in the middle of anything.
You're a freeloader. Get out of here. Python Pity Pub? What was that on her hoodie?
I know how Persephone feels. But not you. You'd have every right to be furious with me.
I can see where you're coming from. I'm not actually that angry with you at all.
So you've said. I'm more worried about you, actually.
Worried about me? After all you've been through?
I gave up a lot to bring Freddy back. I don't like losing friends.
When I first became Apollo, I was so sure I could help people. Help the world. I ignored the warnings. You have no idea how many lives I ruined before I stopped. I never should have given in to Athena. This one time, I thought that maybe it will be different.
Hard to not be mopey when your power is such a curse.
You don't know everything, Apollo. Half the problem is that you and every other idol thinks they do.
What do you mean?
Trying to prevent the prophecy is what's making it come true.
So you want to, what? Stop trying?
Maybe.
I hope you can forgive me, Grace.
I hope that one day we'll be as close friends as you were with Calliope.
I guess all that remains is the trial. Whatever happens, Grace, I'll be standing right there by you.
Thank you.
Whatever beef I have with anybody, none of you guys were the killer, so you know what? Water under the bridge. Persephone. She I'm a little bit upset with.
Did you forget something, Grace?
It felt like we hadn't quite finished our conversation.
It seemed pretty finished to me. What more is there to discuss?
Why didn't you tell me about you and Calliope?
What, tell you I loved her so you and Apollo could pick apart our relationship and then cast me as the murderer? Tell you I spent 2 years hoping she would return, only to find out that that was never gonna happen? Tell all of that to the one she was now a part of, who would one day remember everything we were? Calliope would not have approved of the way I acted. But then she seldom did. It was so good to see her in Hades. To have her say she forgives me. I just wish it were as easy to forgive myself.
Self-pity from the great Persephone. That's a new look.
How dare you? It's not self-pity, it's...
Introspection, remorse. This isn't your usual playbook.
Fine. I'm trying to change, Grace. Is that what you wanted to hear?
It's a start.
Do you regret it? Surrendering your Eidolon?
No, not at all. Wasn't a hard choice at all. I only regret it in the context of me maybe putting Freddy into more danger. Remember how we had a moment with Persephone before? She must have stopped because, well, for one, the whole Calliope thing, and then the additional complicating layer being that Calliope and I are kind of the same thing. That's really weird.
Not yet, but we'll see what happens at the trial.
I wonder if I could have done as much for anyone. You do realize you may have brought your friend back, only to doom her to a quick death.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
You gave her your new life, and you get to walk away as if nothing ever happened.
Only if we survive. And I would never walk away from a friend.
There's gotta be another way. We can't let Freddy die. I guess that's that then. I thought we might have a bigger conversation about like our own relationship, but I think we just broke it off when we were in the underworld.
Freddy, can we talk? Freddy, please. Whatever I did, I need to make it right. Talk to me.
I had pink hair before.
Hey. Freddy, are you okay?
No. No, I'm really not. Why did you do it, Grace? You brought me back. You made me the muse.
Which part are you upset about? Are you upset because now it's like I'm pushing you to die because of the prophecy that we both know? Or you just don't think I should have given up my power for you? Because I don't regret that second part at all.
Man, what's giving up immortality for your best friend in the entire universe?
No, I'm serious.
And I'm not. Freddy, I'd do anything for you. Just like you'd do anything for me.
Grace, I told you that I was at peace with my decision. I've watched the struggles you've had as the muse, and now you've thrown them all on me. You didn't even ask.
You don't wish you were still dead, do you? Did I screw up?
I don't know.
That's, yeah. It's not an automatic given that someone will be happy just because you bring them back to life, especially with a whole bunch of burdens. No.
I should have asked you first. I'm really sorry. It just kind of happened.
It's not that. It's not just that. I came back from the dead. And I was actually dead. And I'm not the same now. I've changed. And it's not just being the muse. I'm different, and so are you, and nothing between us can ever be the same again.
Of course it'll be the same. Why wouldn't it?
Grace, I sacrificed myself because I love you. I'm in love with you. And I have been for a really long time.
That's what I was waiting to hear! You know, back in Asterian song, we got Freddy to help, and then there was that one section where she was like, oh, I know what it's like to have an unrequited love. I didn't say anything at the time, blah, 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 blah. And I was like,
Well, that's ironic.
What is?
I, feel the same way. I always have. Why do you think I joined your band? After college, we started drifting apart.
Why do you think I started the band?
oh!
All this time. And neither of us said anything.
Because it's scary. Because if you're friends to begin with, and you say more, you say you want to be more, you're putting what you immediately have at risk. Look at us right now, we're living together. We're best friends in the whole entire world. We have to give this whole thing up in order for a chance for those feelings to be reciprocated. That's really freaking scary, you know? This doesn't really... I think, you know, Freddy is just... There's a lot of emotions happening right now, especially with the whole dying and then coming back to life thing again. But we honestly could have continued doing the best friends thing. It's just that Freddy's bursting at the seams emotionally. That's why she's saying this.
I never said anything because I didn't want to lose my best friend. I still don't.
You still might. The trial's tomorrow. Athena doesn't know about me. Once she does, I'm the last muse. She's gonna want me dead, isn't she?
We can still get through this, Fred.
We'll figure this out.
Yeah, but even if we do, I'll keep changing. And when I start becoming Calliope, will I still love you?
Okay.
I don't know.
I hadn't thought that far.
Now every word's been said. I can't think of any more to fix what's broken. So many books I've read, and still not a word of anything could reveal how this feels. Only if we could have been brave on time. Knowing how we should have been loving all this time. I would prefer that we were late then, never together again. What you don't get is death. I died. You and I are not the same people who we once knew. Only if we could have been brave on time. Knowing how we should have been loving all this time. Only if we could just escape demise. I'll always love you, Grace. But is it too late? Too late?
Okay. I take it back. I said, well, we could have still done the best friends thing. No, we couldn't have. She's right. I completely forgot about to consider the whole veil lifting and becoming Calliope business, which would have been a problem as soon as this story started. The moment Grace became the muse, we were on the path to becoming Calliope. The moment Freddy died, now we became separated by life and death. The moment we brought Freddy back with a muse power, now she's dealing with becoming Calliope. The moment the story started, we were already too late. From a meta perspective though, I am leaning towards thinking we'll figure this out somehow. So I feel like that's why emotionally I'm not too torn up about it. But I mean, if you were actually in this situation, oh my god, it would feel so hopeless. I just hope that my intuition is correct. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but we'll figure something out, right? Well, it's a good thing I did talk to Fred. In fact, it turns out this conversation was long overdue. For one, she's been in love with me this entire time, which is extra ironic because I've been in love with her. We just never told each other until now. Well, it didn't really work out exactly like that because I was messing around with Persephone a little bit in the beginning, but I think it works out really nicely too. Like, oh, suddenly we're thrusted into godhood, and then there's all these like allures and seductions everywhere. So for a little bit, we were taken with some other people, like Apollo for a little bit, Pan for a little bit, Persephone for a little bit longer. But then all that stuff went down with Persephone. We basically had a pseudo breakup, and we realized that no, it's been Freddy this whole time. And it's always been Freddy. but she's been such a constant that as soon as something changes, back to the allures and the seductions of godhood and all that, right? But is it too late? Freddy had accepted her decision to sacrifice herself for me, and I kind of overrode that to bring her back. So now she has to watch me face death. And as the last muse, surely Athena will turn on her as well. Yeah. It's, when I was Muse, I felt like I was automatically thinking about these things. We talked about this before, how, I'm worried about stuff like my friends and family dying and me not dying. But as soon as I passed it off to Freddy, I'm just so glad that she's alive that I just completely turned away from all these concepts, not considering that Freddy will have to deal with that too. It's a lot to just drop on someone, and will this change how we feel? It's so weird thinking I could have told Fred about this a long time ago. If I had... No, I can't think about that now. We need to face the trial tomorrow first. We'll get through it, somehow. Together. Okay, my long years of experiences with reading fanfiction tells me that this night before the trial is free real estate for fanfiction. For all the options, really, not just for Freddy. It's easy angst to cash in on. Come on. I don't want to scroll with my mouse because it messes up the controller. Well, I tried talking to Persephone once we got back to the apartment, but she wasn't having it. If I want to settle this, I'll have to hunt her down. Well, I went to the underworld, the nightclub one, and hashed things out with Persephone, as much as they could be. She'll never apologize for what went down, of course. That's just not in her nature. Even so, I think she feels badly about it in her own way, and is trying to change. We'll see how far that goes. Pan. Come on. We can't even sing tomorrow in the trial because we're not the muse. Will Freddy be on trial then? No, it's my trial, right? I went to Pan and told him everything that happened. To his credit, he listened. And I don't think he'll sell me out to Athena before the trial. Lesson learned, maybe? His advice surprised me. Let the prophecy play out. If the idols don't continue, then they don't continue. It's a pretty surprising attitude from an idol. Say what you want about Pan, he's never what you expect. He's not a bad guy. Apollo. This song playing in the background, it's the very first one between Grace and Calliope. I think it's a great decision to lead the whole story with that. Still one of my favorites after hearing so many. Went to the beach house. I tried to make it clear to Apollo that I understood what he did, but of course he took the opportunity to beat himself up some more. I mean, I'm not thrilled about it all, but I get it. I guess I'll see what comes next at the trial. Yes, we will. Let's go. Auditorium. Where the audition was held?
So this is it. You're back where you started, with nothing to show for it. Tomorrow we head to the trial. And who knows what'll happen. Like a boat lost at sea, with no sails, not a breeze. I am drifting cold waters, no star to be seen. All my life I have been carried through. At the mercy of tides I lay unproved. But now I stand oar in hand, hoping my choices won't sink me. What can I do? If I'm a boat lost at sea, can I build sails, find a breeze? Oh
We'll have to see.
Okay, here we go. Hello?
The owl's gone.
Oh, Grace, there you are. Everyone is already waiting for you on Olympus.
Yeah, isn't this Olympus?
I thought this was Olympus.
Not this office building. My word, no.
Hermes looks upset. They must have told Athena some stuff already then, or maybe she forced them to talk. Freedom, says Hermes' shirt.
Welcome to Old Olympus, dear.
Oh wow, this is like a public execution site.
Is this a real place?
It's the memory of a real place, which for us is the same thing. Let's begin, shall we?
Let's. People I know, people I don't know. I can't even hire a lawyer, I gotta defend myself.
Brothers, sisters, everyone, look around you. We few who remain fled to this new land to escape the war, but we are not out of danger. I waited to tell you until I was certain, and now I am. The idols are dying. It will not be long before even our immortality deserts us. The time for extreme measures has arrived.
Do I want to go in for the kill immediately? No.
And you'll be the one deciding which of those extreme measures is implemented, right? You and no one else.
When has there ever been anyone else? Each of you is here because I brought you here. I protected you. I carved out this space in a strange land so we could survive. I am at this trial to tell you that, as always, I will look out for you. I will save you. Trust in me, Pallas Athena, daughter of Zeus and leader of the chorus, and I will do anything it takes to keep you all alive.
Anything, huh?
Freddie.
And who might you be, my dear?
Very cute, but not really relevant to the trial. I don't care.
That's Freddie, the woman I love. And she's also the new muse.
That's impossible. Do you think us fools? Grace is standing right here, alive and well.
Yeah, you see, Grace gave up her eidolon to bring me back from Hades. Seems that's a thing you can do. Don't suppose that changes your plans for the trial at all, does it?
The eidolon was not Grace's to pass on, so I'm afraid you'll have to share her fate, Freddie.
It sounds like an eidolon passing on without the original person dying is not normally a thing then. Even Athena is like, how could you have done that?
What you really mean is that she has to die because she's the last muse. And there can't be a last muse, can there?
I don't know what you're talking about, dear.
That is such a lie.
Tell them about the prophecy Apollo gave you, and how you've interpreted it. The idols cannot continue so long as the last muse lives. Isn't that how it goes?
It's true.
The wording is honestly pretty damn vague though. Continue. What does continue mean? Maybe it's just talking about the label, idols.
We spoke to Calliope in Hades. She told us how you sent the Furies after her.
You couldn't have.
Yes, she could. Just like she gave up her eidolon to me.
Maybe you even knew that once, but you've forgotten it, just like all the idols have. You don't know everything, Athena.
No, I do not accept this. You are lying.
You're the one who's been lying. Or would you like to explain to the idols how you murdered Calliope based on a vague prophecy? Tell them.
I don't have a power to make her.
Yes, it's me.
Freddy does.
It's me. Of course, it's me. The one who gets it done. Don't you see? It had to be. You all turn away when I got the fish. Then you cry, hooray, once it's on the dish. That's how we do this. Yes, we. Yes, you and me. I have always cared for you. I'll always do all these things for you. All these things that you are not prepared to do.
You say you care, Athena, look around. The way you care grinds these idols down. From up above, you played your puppet show. You called it love. Athena, did you know you're turning them to ghosts?
Sorry, little bird, time to wring your neck.
If only you knew
Whoa.
that you can't force the future. Only if only you knew it's not just another thing you can subdue.
Only if only I lived in a quaint little pond like you. Only if I could just lie there, and any time I moved, I'd tremble a reed or two.
Yes, there's a lot at stake. But remember, when the idols came to this new world, it was the right call for you to make. The right chance to take.
None of you see,
Oh.
so it's down to me. It's fine, I'll take all the blame. I'll take all the pain. Think you see it all, you just see a scrap. You wanna make the call, you need to hold the map. You cloistered children. It's time for you and all who stand with you. Yes, you too. Form a queue. Time to follow through.
Oh, they're here again.
Hey, y'all, now listen, I'll be crystal clear. I'm saying this to everybody here.
No substitutions, no, you're all too dear. We're keeping everybody leaves this place alive.
Oh. They stopped.
I'm okay dying again if it's with you. You're the only place to be.
What? I don't know.
I was so low, I nearly withdrew. Now I'm here because she inspired me. I wasn't a monster to you. And now I'm not a monster to
Oh. Fates, be moved.
Of course, it's me. Because of me, this prophecy would come to be. My Olympus is gone, and you're all looking on at a stranger wearing my face. My Olympus is gone. Now I'm some other one. Just how long has she been in place? You set off hoping you could get to somewhere right, but it's been too many years since the mainland was in sight. There was a voice in me that shouted, Athena, you be strong. Be strong. No cost is great enough. It was wrong. I was wrong. I was wrong, and now I don't know what the right thing is. I leave it up to you what to do with this. I forgive you, Athena.
It's not for me to choose.
Look into me. Oh
my God.
know what I see. Yes, a monster. I've met monsters who weren't monsters. I'm a monster to me. I'm sorry, Grace. I'm sorry, all of you. I wish Calliope could know it too. She does. She hears you.
It's a mashup of the previous songs. Yeah, I think the forgiveness should have come from Calliope, really. I think we're letting her off a little bit too lightly. But I didn't want to punch her. But now what? The idols can't continue? The chorus.
Are you finished? You've been talking forever.
We're done, yes.
And? So you're in charge now, I'm guessing.
I am, though I'll admit, the victory seems rather hollow. The idols could still be dying. If that's so, then I'll simply be presiding over our final days.
Does she have time?
Why have the chorus at all, then? Seems a bit pointless.
Are you joking? The idols need us now more than ever.
Perhaps what the idols need most is change.
What?
I don't know if I have any say in this, but have you considered rejoining the real world? Like Grace said, there is no point in the chorus. Get rid of it. Stop hiding in the shadows and just help each other instead.
It doesn't sound like the whole idols cannot continue thing. Well, okay, idols are not dropping dead just because the Last Muse currently exists. Maybe it means something like... It sounds like maybe what it means is idols will slowly lose their immortality, right? We talked about this before with Athena as well, I think. Why not just live like a human then? Live like a person. If your time comes, then it does, and that's that. That's the end.
After everything you've been through, you have to know things can't go on as they did before.
Burn it all down. Hiding has protected us for so long.
Maybe I was the only one listening to Grace's song. Surviving is what's been killing you. We need to do something new.
She's right.
I should know better than anyone the futility of doing the same thing over and over again to no result.
Is that a yes?
Yes. Heavens help me. But yes.
I didn't really want this chair anyhow. I agree. Let's do it.
Wow.
What about Athena? There's no way she'll be okay with this.
She won't fight it. She said, and I quote, "Whatever your decision, I will abide by it."
Then you improved meek, Athena?
The fight's just not in her anymore. She was so certain she was doing the right thing.
Well, we'll see how long this new Athena lasts.
She might have been. We don't know.
Just like that? You're sure about this? I was expecting more argument.
So was I. Usually we can't even order breakfast without arguing.
Yeah, I was not expecting you to just run with it like that.
We've all been thinking about it for years. It's what Calliope fought for, in fact.
I wish she could have been here to see this day.
In a way, she is.
With Freddy.
If there's no chorus, does that mean idols just do whatever they want?
As much as anyone can.
And Medusa? She's off the leash, as it were?
Medusa has offered to live in the reliquary. Frankly, I think she's relieved.
As for the rest of us, we'll be subject to mortal authorities and their laws.
These authorities. Do you think we could ask them about Hephaestus?
Yes. Yes, I imagine we could.
I don't know if they'll have any answers. I think, to reintegrate into mortal society, that's great, but I guess the one worrying thing would be about the whole power stuff. Like, Freddy, are you gonna randomly start making people start singing? That might be a bit of a problem too. But I like the idea of just, get off your high horse and come down here.
a few thoughts as to how you could go about revealing yourselves.
Oh?
You'll need to give any idols who don't agree time to hide, right? That means you can prepare a campaign.
Something online, maybe.
The idols would be stars before you know it. If you're famous enough, there's only so much that can be done to you.
That sounds like a good idea. We'll need your help with that, Grace.
I didn't say I was going anywhere, right?
Idols are stars.
We have a lot of anxious idols to inform. Shall we?
If it's okay, could we catch up with you? I'd just like to talk to Grace for a minute.
We'll be outside. Make it quick.
Can we finally have a cookie?
So, well, that was pretty wild, huh? You did it. You got through your trial unscathed.
We fulfilled the prophecy too while we were at it.
Fulfilled it? I thought we prevented it.
I was the Last Muse, and then you were. We were on trial, and now what's happening with the idols?
They're not continuing.
The label
Not like
idols.
Before, no. If only Athena could have understood there were possibilities beyond mere survival.
Right, no one even said that they had to lose their immortality. The idols, as it is currently, is not continuing. Done.
I know things were pretty intense before the trial. I still don't know how I feel about us, about everything. And I understand if you wanted to get as far away from me and the idols as you could. Especially now that things are about to get weird.
What are you talking about, Freddy?
You need me. The idols need me.
But we'll get by. Probably. What I'm saying is, you don't need to feel obligated.
I like being needed.
Oh.
I was so sure that you were gonna leave. I mean, you're free to go now, right?
And miss being high priestess to the goddess of late night lattes? Absolutely not.
I still need some time to figure us out.
Yeah, take all the time you need. We have that now.
Okay then. Ready to go out there and face the music?
Always.
2 months later. Yeah, we still have the whole Freddy turning into Calliope thing hanging over our head. Hey, they moved the stickers on the fridge! It's this weird fridge now. It used to be on the other side?
Of course you're all here. Why wouldn't you be?
We were waiting for you.
They just showed up. I didn't think you'd mind too much.
How does it feel to be the idol spokesperson appearing on every newscast, reputable and otherwise?
I'm exhausted.
The Oracle has been keenly following your progress. She records every appearance, every interview. She may be your biggest fan.
The way she talks, you'd think she never doubted who you were.
Well, at least she's been of great help to your online campaign.
A lot's been going on here, too. You want to hear the gauze?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there any word yet on Aphrodite and Eros? They left the city a while ago.
Oh, wow.
Eros sent word, yes. Aphrodite has started a spiritual retreat in the mountains?
Let's
All
call
right.
it a cult.
Whatever it is, he says it's been helping her. Being the goddess of love to the world once more has at last brought her peace.
Isn't she at all concerned about, being captured by mortals again?
Hence why she surrounded herself with only those who shower her with adoration.
As I recall, sister, you also headed several cults across the centuries.
The Eleusinian mysteries weren't about shoring up my ego, Apollo.
What about Venus? Did she go with them?
The mortal? I don't believe so. Last I heard, she opened a gallery. Aphrodite's become her patron.
Venus has painted most of the idols. I sat for her last week, in fact. It's made her rather successful.
Wow. They say Aphrodite surrounds herself with people who love her, but I feel like the act of putting herself out there to interact with the mortals, to let herself be, possibly have the possibility of being in a situation where she could get captured again, is sort of like allowing yourself to feel love, because if you want that, you have to be vulnerable. You have to. You can't have love without vulnerability.
Has anyone heard about Athena? It's been a while.
I have. She left the city, as she felt uncomfortable with all the attention on the idols.
Terrified, you mean?
It is terrifying.
It was more that mortals expected the goddess of wisdom to have sage advice, and she no longer trusts her judgment.
Nor should she.
You don't still worry about her, brother, after all she's done?
I think of her off in the far north, living alone in the wilderness, punishing herself until the end of her days. I know it's her own choosing, but it seems like such a waste.
Well, for now, everyone still has forever to think about it. You can always change your mind.
Is Hermes still around? I'm surprised they're not here with the rest of you.
Well, we've barely seen them of late.
I see them online all the time. They're a big hit. Their videos are hilarious.
Hermes has been busy. They've become a social media darling, or so the Oracle tells me.
Oh my god,
The
they're a
truly
TikTok
amusing
star.
part is that they're not even trying to be famous. They simply can't help it.
Hermes likes to people please, it's true.
And they get a lot of free shoes and concert tickets.
Hopefully it won't backfire on them. Fame is a double-edged sword.
Hermes lives a charmed life. Never fear.
Well, it's odd seeing their face on so many billboards, but I agree. Let Hermes have their fun.
At least they'll have money to, afford a home that's not a shack by the beach.
What about Hecate and Asterion? Are they still at the reliquary?
I want to ask about this.
Hecate leave the reliquary? I'd sooner believe the sun would go out.
Oh, you should see them, Grace. They are so cute. Asterion dotes on Kate day and night. He even wrote his own song to serenade her.
Oh.
Did you just call her Kate?
Am I doing it now? I am, aren't I? I've been around them a lot.
You are turning into quite the fixture there, Freddy. Hecate talks about you as if you were her apprentice.
Please, I wouldn't go that far. Did you really say that?
Not in so many words, but she did mention it was time to pass on her arcane knowledge.
A sorceress muse. That'll certainly be new.
That'll be amazing. Hey, what about Medusa? Yeah, Medusa also lives at the reliquary, right? But then how does that work with the whole curse thing?
And Medusa? I take it she's no longer at the reliquary.
Oh.
She's staying with me for now. You did promise my help with her curse, if you recall.
Oh, thank God.
How's that going?
Better than I might have expected. I have a few old friends who owe me favors, and they're making headway. Medusa is positively giddy at the prospect. She offered to help manage the underworld as repayment, which I can't say I mind.
What? You're kidding, right? Isn't she gonna chow down on your customers?
Not if she wants her curse broken. We have an understanding.
You're braver than I'd be.
Oh, I'm used to handling the odd snake. Frankly, we owe her the opportunity to try.
Oh, I was wondering about that. We promised Persephone would help her, but then nothing came out of it. Thank goodness that wasn't the case. Help manage the underworld, though. She's like a manager there. That's a pretty high up position. That's a good thing.
What about Pan? I haven't seen him since the trial.
No one's seen him.
Should we be worried? It is Pan, and what he does will reflect on us all.
He's probably off fleecing widows out of their pensions as we speak.
Pan is harmless.
Mostly harmless.
I think so too.
As far as I can tell, he did regret his involvement in Calliope's death. He'll lay low. At least for a time.
He'll be back with some new scheme to make us all groan.
You're not wrong.
It sounds like we've all been busy. I haven't had time to really spend with Freddy.
I'd like to know what you've been up to, Freddy.
You mean other than incessantly talking about you?
I don't talk about Grace that much. Do I?
I think it's rather commendable how you've taken the remaining idols at Olympus under your wing.
Well, someone has to do it. Just yesterday, I was teaching Athena how to ride a bus. She was so mortified.
All this while preparing for your next big venture. Busy is our new muse.
That's supposed to be a secret.
Wait, what's this?
Well, I figured once you were done with all the promotional tours, you might want to, I don't know, come with me. I mean, I thought maybe you missed being the muse. A little. So we could try the band again. Go on tour.
Yeah, wasn't Freddie supposed to be the drummer, but her voice is like insane that she should be? Maybe it's like double vocals or something? What is she doing now? She's not still drumming, is she?
Are you worried we aren't seeing enough of each other? That is why you started the band the first time.
Maybe a bit. But I thought next time could be different. Something we do together. Muse and former muse.
It does sound kind of cool.
Good, because I've been arranging dates at clubs across the country. You two only need to give me the word.
Damn. Well, it's been 2 months. So far it seems like the whole is Freddy gonna turn into Calliope thing. I feel like it's still gonna be a future problem, but for the moment it's fine. By the way, check out the fridge. That's why we gotta move the weird magnet over to the side. All these photos here. Let's see, what do we got? Starting from the top left. I see Eros and Grace. I don't know what the one at the very, very top left is. And then going across, we got Asterion waving his paw. There's Persephone taking a drink. Pan, even Pan, and the corner of Grace's eyeball. And then I guess that's Apollo's beach house. And then the second bottom left corner is Grace and people. I can't see what that is. Is that Medusa? Yeah, I think so. And then I think the next one after that might be the Oracle. Without her hood. It's all Grace selfies, basically. Grace and Apollo, and then underneath that, next to the cool magnet, is that Hermes? Grace and Hermes, and then the stage, the auditorium. And of course, right above the cool on the right side, Grace and Freddy, and then the owl. Why is that creepy owl here? Anyway.
What about you, Apollo? Still planning on leaving the city?
Soon, I think. All the attention on the idols is proving rather taxing.
Ooh, running away again, brother.
I suppose you could say that. Really, I just came by to see Grace and apologize one last time.
I told you don't need to keep doing that.
Yes, well, I'm glad things worked out as they did. You'll all be fine without me.
Come visit from time to time.
You know, one day you will learn, brother. Not today, but someday.
Wow, you guys are cordial.
How about you, Persephone? Any big changes?
Changes? Well, I suppose you could say that. I've been spending a great deal of my time in Hades of late.
Really? What for?
Now that the mortal world knows about us again, I suspect it won't be empty for long.
Kind of raises some of the big questions, doesn't it? About death, about belief, about a lot of things.
Yes, I can't say I'm the mortal world's most favorite idol at present. It's a whole thing.
You don't seem upset about that.
The world changes, Grace. For the better and for the worse. We knew this was coming. Where it will end up, that remains to be seen. But one thing is certain. Death.
I kind of want to know a little bit more if... Are you just spending a lot of time with Calliope and Hades then? And I don't know how that would... Not my problem, I guess, but they might want to think about stuff like, hey, Persephone could pass on her eidolon to Calliope so that she could come back to the world of the living. And, well, that's their problem, right? I don't know. That's their relationship. I assume they're still in contact and continuing... Oh, but they broke up already. Right, they had already broken up for a few years. That's why they hadn't been speaking. But, these things... It could happen again.
I still can't believe it's all over.
Oh, it's scarcely over, Grace. Now that you've toppled the castle, it's barely just begun.
Oh, I didn't do that.
Come on, Grace, we both did. And it was amazing.
Perhaps we should leave you alone, Grace. You must be tired from your trip.
What?
Perhaps a round of drinks at the underworld, in Calliope's honor.
I'd like that, actually.
If you both don't mind, could Grace and I catch up?
Yes. Lord, I've been waiting 20 years for this!
Don't take too long, you two, or we'll start drinking without you.
Okay, so I have been doing some thinking, and I have something to say.
Okay.
The way I obsessed over you all those years, it wasn't healthy, was it? And maybe our relationship changing is a good thing. I'm an adult now. We need to do this over and do it right.
Does that mean you forgive me?
What a treat, we still get a song.
Within me there will always be something left behind in shadow. I'm tethered to you, I'm free. I've known, I've loved you before. We were grown, never alone. Only, if only, we can be brave this time. Finally, Grace, you and me. It wasn't too late, it was fate. I've spent so long yearning, observing, seeking the light of your eyes. Now I return, nothing left in reserve. Your eyes, a sunrise. Only, if only, we can be brave this time. Finally, Grace, you and me. It wasn't too late. It was fate.
There we go. Oh, I didn't get to reply on that song. Oh well, I guess. And they live happily ever after? For now. For now, I feel like there is still gonna be, like we said earlier, some oncoming issues and whatnot. But I think living in the moment, yeah, that's an important thing too. We have happiness right now. Let's not think too much about the past or the future and just live it. Live it. Wow, I'm really happy with this romance. I think this might be one of my favorites in the whole year so far in video games. Seriously. Not just because it was sweet, but man, it felt so right. It just felt so... I feel like this might be the first time I've ever felt like this, but it doesn't feel like, oh, okay, there's a whole bunch of different romance options, go pick your favorite now. Even though that's actually what it is, right? But if the way they had the story play out, it felt like this was such a natural progression of my choices culminating in this love story. Which is insane. I don't know how... Why does it feel like that? Because if you look at other... if you look at stuff like, I don't know, Mass Effect, generally what'll happen is, okay, this is the section where you have to lock into a romance and then, you know, everybody starts showing... If you're like me and you flirt with everybody before you do the lock-in part, everybody starts showing they're interested in you, and then you lock in, and then you move on to the big story beats, and then something happens, and then you move on to the next story beat. So it feels like no matter how you play, the important romance story beats all happen around the same time, whereas because the scope of this game is a lot smaller, they were able to avoid standardizing it like that, and I think it made it feel a lot more customized and personal. Does that make any sense? Like in the beginning, the first big romance thingy we got was the almost kiss with Persephone. And then normally in another game, I would expect that, okay, so we just got an almost kiss with Persephone, which means that something else is gonna happen with Pan soon, and then something else is gonna happen with Freddy soon, and then something else is gonna happen with Apollo soon. But that's not how it played out. In fact, I think Freddy might be one of the more backloaded romances, I'm guessing, because it really only could develop after the whole going to the underworld thing. Whereas by this point, I feel like a lot of other romance options would have, signaled their interest in whatever already. Probably because of the nature of Freddy's unrequited love. Her whole thing is, she can't say it out loud and she's been keeping it inside. And I can see they've tried to make all the romance options have some degree of conflict and difficulty too. It's not just about, oh, okay, who do you think is the hottest? Who do you think is the cutest? And pick them, right? No, because Apollo was kind of hiding stuff from you, Persephone was lying, and then Pan is just being Pan the whole time, and then Freddy, she doesn't have a problem like that, but their thing was that, they kept it inside themselves for too long that it was almost too late. And the complication with Grace not asking Freddy before shoving the idol onto her, which brings her back, but it also gives her a lot more complications and stuff to think about. There's depth here, and I really, really like it. The whole murder mystery plot stuff, I don't think is the strongest part of the game. The people who came in thinking that they were gonna do some investigation detective stuff with how, this was a locked room murder mystery, how did the killer do this or whatever, like it's not really the focus of Stray Gods. Between plot-driven and character-driven, I think Stray Gods is much more character-driven, and personally, I was really happy with the detail they went into with the world building. It's a short game, there's not really too much time for them to do too much with it, but I loved learning about the details of how does an Eidolon pass on, and what happens to gods who've been living for thousands of years? Okay, sometimes they might have PTSD, and they end up having to try to escape it by occupying other bodies. Every time they answered the questions I was saying out loud, it felt so good because they knew what I was thinking and they knew that people would ask this and they have an answer for it. I didn't know this when I started playing, but Stray Gods was written by one of the lead writers and creators of the Dragon Age franchise, which I think it shows. It's fantastic. On the musical front, it was really awesome too. My favorite tracks are probably the very first one, Adrift, with Calliope and Grace. And then the one with Grace, Pan, and Freddy. I like that one as well. And then Medusa's. Those ones are probably my top favorites, but they were all pretty good. Getting to hear one song I think would have been already enough to wow me, but how they let you even influence the direction of the song is insane. Like, how many different versions of it did they write? At least 3 for each of the choices, and then the mixing between the choices probably creates some new options as well, which, mind blown, insane. However though, I think this game probably is lacking a bit of technical polish at the moment on several fronts. Now, the biggest one being the audio balance issue. I managed to finish playing the entire game without them having fixed it, which I tried my best to make it not noticeable, but there were a lot of parts where the audio levels across scenes, across different characters in the same scene, across the same character in the same scene, were all just inconsistent, to the point where there were multiple conversations and songs where I went and used AI to separate the vocals and the dialogue from the background music so that I could boost the dialogue independently, because otherwise you couldn't hear what people were saying over the background music. They've confirmed that this is a bug, but as of me finished playing the game today, it still hasn't been fixed, so I really hope that gets sorted out soonish. Other than that, some little things here and there, like I don't know why my controller and the keyboard and mouse don't seem to work seamlessly. If I use the keyboard and mouse, my controller stops working. And then some of the background art was sometimes really pixely. I wish they could up the resolution a little bit more, especially since this is not, this is not a graphically intense game. And stutters across scene transitions. To be clear, these things didn't affect my enjoyment of the game at all, like not even 1%, but if they hammer it out, it'll make it seem so much more polished. I'm only being picky because I was impressed by like literally everything else. So yeah, again, I think the overall story following Grace's journey was really, really engaging and enjoyable, and the romance option, in particular the one that I've seen here with Freddy, just really elevated the whole thing to another level. And I'm really happy with this. Yeah, I think Summerfall Studios is gonna be a studio I pay attention to from now on, and I will be eagerly awaiting their next work. What were your favorite songs? If Feel free to let me know in the comments along with any other thoughts you may have. And with that said, this was Welonz with Stray Gods, the role-playing musical. I hope you enjoyed watching and listening to this as much as I enjoyed playing it, and I will see you all in another place in another time. Bye!